our souls which are ever in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, for the opportunity you've given us to serve our constituencies here in Macon-Bibb County, and for all of your many gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We pray that peace and goodwill will obtain among the inhabitants of our county, our state, our land, and that belief in you will continue to spread its many blessings among us, exalting us all in righteousness. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. This will be an abbreviated agenda. There are only 4 items for action. They're all time sensitive. The first item on our agenda is a consent agenda item, and it is an alcohol beverage license for SRO Partners Macon LLC, doing business as the Macon Bacon, located at 225 Willie Smoky Glover Drive in Macon. This is the alcohol license they need for opening night on Friday night. Is there further discussion? If not, can I get a motion? Motion to approve by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Lucas. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Second is the alcohol permit will be issued as requested. The second item is a resolution to enter in an intergovernmental lease of the HACO hangar out at Middle Georgia Regional Airport. I'm going to ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing Macon-Bibb County to enter into an intergovernmental ground lease agreement with Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority relating to the former HACO hangar at the Middle Georgia Regional Airport, so that the authority will be authorized and enabled to take such action necessary to find and secure a new industrial tenant and for other lawful purposes.
This resolution or this topic of discussion was presented in executive session last week to the Committee of the Whole. There was extensive discussion about the efforts of the Industrial Authority and the hopefulness of the authority to have a new tenant in the HACO hangar, which is currently vacant, HACO having abandoned its lease and moved out. There was considerable discussion then, and the consensus was for the Committee of the Whole to draft this resolution and bring it forward at this time. Is there further discussion? And if not, can I get a motion to approve by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Schlesinger? Further discussion about this? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. And next is a resolution for refinancing the Marriott Hotel to give us a more favorable interest rate and some upfront cash. I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission, the governing body of Macon-Bibb County, requesting that the Macon-Bibb County Urban Development Authority issue its refunding revenue bond in the maximum principal amount of $8,225,000 for the purpose of achieving debt service savings on its outstanding revenue bonds, Convention Center Public Contribution Project, Series 2007, issued for the benefit of the City of Macon, and to reduce the payments otherwise due from the county under the intergovernmental contract which secures the payment of said revenue bonds, to authorize the negotiation of a new intergovernmental contract to be entered into between the county and the authority to provide security for the Series 2018 bond, to designate various firms and professionals to work and assist the county with the issuance of the Series 2018 bond and for other purposes.
The municipal advisor to Macon-Bibb County, Terminus, has recommended this refinancing of existing debt to save us additional money. David Lucas is here with Stern AG to answer any additional questions that we might have. But essentially what we're doing is we're keeping the term the same. we're just dropping the interest rate, and because we're dropping the interest rate, we get money refunded on the front end that we can use. Further questions, and if not, can I get a motion to approve? Got a motion by Schlesinger and a second by Commissioner Jones. Further discussion. Commissioner Lucas?
How much would the, first of all, it's Urban Development Authority. Is this a similar situation? And I must have missed this. I was a little late for the meeting, the committee meeting. I must have missed this. Was this on an agenda previously?
No, ma'am. To my knowledge, discussion about it was...
Did it go through any committee at all?
Did
we put it on the agenda? I mean,
It-
you can just call something and put it on an agenda and we just discuss and vote on it out here.
Yes.
That's been our problem. That's part of the problem, y'all. And I thought I had missed
You didn't.
something.
You did not.
Okay, so
but this is-
explain
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
explain this to me. Urban Development Authority, I know, can issue bonds and all of this. So these are some bonds that we're taking, and we're going to do what with them?
David, let me ask you to come up to the
Exchange.
podium there, and I think that is a hot
See-
mic. It is a hot mic. My understanding, as recommended by Terminus, and we discussed this at the retreat, about the possibility of refinancing the existing debt on the Marriott Hotel. This has been looked at by the financial analyst, and we think that this will save us $100,000 next year and $400,000 the following year, so a total of about $500,000 without extending the term or extending the amount of the payment. Is my understanding, David?
Oh, we did a similar thing when we did the MRSA stuff. There were some bonds that we paid off, and then some more were issued at a lower rate. And I remember we did that with that, and I know it's beneficial.
Correct. We have done this several times in the past.
Right. I'm just trying to understand that since it did not go through a committee, and we do have an appropriations committee, that these items need to go through, because when it gets out here, if somebody doesn't ask all the questions, and then folks start looking like you're prolonging the meeting, you're asking too many questions. But I want to be clear on what we're actually doing.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Matthew Arrington couldn't be here tonight, and he asked me to be here to answer any questions. This has been looked at for a period of time by Matthew's firm, and the bonds were not callable until late last year. But you issued approximately $10,800,000 in 2007 for the city's contribution to the Marriott Hotel. You owe just under $8 million now. The interest rate's about 4.58% on the existing bonds. We think we can get it refinanced right at 3.5%. So you're saving $500,000, as the mayor said, and we'll get those savings as upfront as possible. But it's about 5.65% of the issue, which is well above the threshold when it makes sense to refinance an issue.
Okay, that part is great. That part is great. My question is, why is this under the Urban Development Authority? Why are we giving them this money to use when they already have, they're in the budget, and then they also have other bond monies that they utilize? So why are we giving them the use of this money?
Well, the bonds were issued initially in 2007 by the Urban Development Authority, so it was backed up by the same contract. At that time, it was a City of Macon contract. Since the consolidation, of course, it'll be a consolidated Macon-Bibb contract. But they will not get any money. I mean, the bonds are going, as soon as they're closed, the new monies will pay off the old bondholders. You will start paying a lower interest rate on the new bonds. So the Urban Authority doesn't have any other money. This was your obligation or the city's obligation. So there's not any additional dollars. It's just strictly a refinance, just as you refinance a house.
Okay, but you were saying there were there was several $100,000 that we would be to the good
Yes, ma'am.
on this, and that's under Urban Development Authority.
Ma'am, it would go to the city. It would go to the city's payments being reduced. The city-county payments being reduced. So your new payments are gonna be $500,000 less than your old payments. But the savings don't go to the Urban Development Authority, they go to reduce the city-county payments.
Why is it under Urban Development Authority then?
That unless it's a voted general obligation, it couldn't be issued by the city of Macon. This was a specific issue in '07. The laws were such that it allowed the convention hotel to be built under the existing laws if we did a contract issue backed by the city. I mean, that was the only way we could do it in '07. And the hotel was built, started in '07, I think it opened in '08, late '08, and it's, been successful since. This is just a way for the city to take advantage of a refinance that was only available late last year. And this is the first time it made sense. There were several legal things that Mr. Adams, working for as a county attorney, had worked with Hutton and Williams, who gave the opinion before, and they worked out those arrangements so that it can be done at the present time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I've got Commissioner Jones next. Commissioner Jones?
Yes, sir. David, a couple of questions. So what is the current term? And you say it doesn't extend, but what is it? The interest rate we think will go to 3.5, and how much down did we have to do to do the refinance?
Okay, you're looking at 9.3 years as the average life of the bonds. The final maturity goes to 2034, but your average life is 9.3 years, and that will be also the length of the new bonds. We'll have it exactly the same. What we will do in the Finance and Budget Office is ask it, if possible, we move interest payment dates to December 1 and June 1. And these were April and October, so we will change that. And I'm not sure whether it'll be too much longer or not, but it'll be enough it won't make any difference, but it'll be easier on the Budget Office and the Finance Director to have payments due in December and in June instead of April and October. And that'd be the only basic change.
And how much cash down to do the refinance?
The total, and this includes the savings, it's just over $200,000 counting all the costs, so just barely, 2.5%.
So, and we think we'll save $100,000 the first year and $400,000 the second year.
We'll
Okay.
try and get as much as we can in the first year.
So it makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Mayor Pro Tem Tillman?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I don't think none of us will has an issue as far as saving money or refinancing the issue. It's just that when you add something on the agenda, and we're all sitting here continuing with this budget process and saying we all have to work on this process together, and you add stuff to the agenda, and the charter calls for you add to the agenda, I think it puts probably the attorney at a disadvantage with some of us, because we're just hoping everybody's operating in good faith and upfront with us. And so my question is it time sensitive that we do this because we know that the Urban Development Authority and the chairman reports directly to you. And so when somebody asks, well, why is it going through the Urban Development Authority? It's certain things that really need to be clear for everybody. And then, what was the urgency to put it on the agenda right now versus running it through a committee? Is it that we're under the urgency? Because we have a 20-year agreement. Mr. Lucas, is that correct? We have a 20-year agreement. I think at some point we probably need to, those folks have breached the contract. According to the county attorney, it's been a while that I thought they breached the contract. It was first Noble, and now it's Interstate, and I thought they breached the contract a few times, because I know on last year in July they just closed up shop, and we were trying to have a concert and they just closed. I think that was one. They were over budgeted many times, and we was talking about the violation that they had made. And so we're refinancing this to do what? We're going to keep those same people in place. What is the urgency to do this today?
I was told it was time sensitive, needed to be done before the end of the fiscal year in order to give us the benefit that we wanted to have. I was told it needed to be done before the end of the fiscal year, and we're into June now. And if we're going to do this, the Terminus and all of the other people need at least 30 days to try to make this happen before the end of the fiscal year. So I was told it was time sensitive, needed to be approved tonight.
What are we going to do about the contract currently?
It's got nothing to do with the contract. This is payment of the underlying debt that we would owe in any circumstance.
So
the bonds that were originally issued in connection with the construction of the Marriott City Center Hotel.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So
Yes,
we own the Marriott Center Hotel. Macon-Bibb County owns the Marriott Center City Hotel.
Get us mixed up.
It's true? Yes or no? Do we own it?
You own the Coliseum and you own the land and you lease that to the operator of the hotel. This $10 million went as part of that to incentivize them to build the hotel, as I remember it from '07.
So here's my question. Because we own the property, and maybe Judd counted it, because we have a lease agreement with Interstate and or Spectra, do we totally, they don't have to come to us last minute? So if the day is Tuesday and somebody says, we got an emergency, we're gonna do some business Thursday, it's our building, what is it that, I mean, we're sitting here approving this, but what obligation or authority do we have to overrule Spectra, overrule Interstate on whatever?
Yep. I'll speak to that.
I want you.
I think there's the agreements you're referring to actually have nothing to do with the financing of the hotel portion of the project. It just related to the management agreement under which previously Noble and now Spectra was operating the auditorium and the Coliseum. It just so happened that when the deal was originally done, the same company that the financing was done for the hotel portion of the project also was awarded the management agreement, which they're no longer doing the management.
Okay.
The refinancing, this is like a loan that you would refinance on your house, and it totally benefits Macon-Bibb County. Noble has nothing to do with this.
Okay, I'm clear. And final question.
And I would say too that it was sudden. It is sudden to bring it here, but Matthew Arrington, Terminus Financial, it was expressed to us they want to try and close it before the start of the new fiscal year, and so that's why we pushed this forward.
Okay. Well, usually when we as commissioners have any changes that we want, we have to have it in writing. I know this is part of a resolution. So my question is, does Matthew Arrington have something in writing that he's presented to you all that you can show us as a commission that he says that he needs 30 days to get this done? And we know the fiscal year starts June 30th or ends June 30th. So in order to just say we need 30 days, does he have something that he's presented to us in writing, Mr. Lucas, or
Yes.
you have something in writing, or?
Yes, sir. We have several things in writing based on the meeting dates and the court dates as far as validating the bonds. Mr. Adams has looked at those, and his opinion is we can get it done if we adopt it tonight. We've got enough days to get it done. It takes effect if we get it done by June 30th. It's done in this budget year. It'll be adopted. It'll be listed in your audit. We think we've got enough days to do it. Plus, it looks like there have been a couple of rate increases since the fall on interest rates, and there'll probably be another one in June. So we want to get it closed before rates go up another 0.25%. So.
I think we've got a motion. I think we had a motion and a second. This is under further discussion. Is there further discussion? Commissioner Lucas?
The fees with transactions like this, there are people, I know you earn a fee. What's the percentage? And then the attorneys, what's their percentage that they get from a bond deal like this? And who else gets something out of this?
This will be a private placement, so we will not have an official statement. Those fees are down. The legal expenses will be bond counsel, county counsel, the urban authority council, and tax council. And I think, excuse me, yes, ma'am. And we think that total is about 1.36%, about 111,000. As a placement fee, we would be charged approximately $6.50 a bond, or $52,000, and financial advisory fees totaling approximately $40,000. So all that makes up about $203,000. But we are trying to do it as a private placement to avoid paying agent fees and also rating fees. This would not be rated; it would be a private placement.
Great, thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Finally, we have a authorization to proceed with an emergency repair that we've talked about a couple of times at the Econo Lodge on Chambers Road, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption now that we've gotten an estimate of cost.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to take steps to address the sinkhole and related drainage problems in and around a county stormwater drainage pipe located at the Econo Lodge Hotel, 4709 Chambers Road, for an estimated cost of $91,480 payable from 2017 SPLOST bond proceeds, and entering into any necessary agreements or accepting any necessary easements from affected landowners and for other purposes.
The Committee of the Whole heard this and made the recommendation for the County Attorney's Office to prepare this resolution and bring it down tonight. So Committee of the Whole asked for this resolution. Now we've got and actually we voted as a Committee of the Whole to approve the emergency procurement procedure is what we actually voted on. Now you've got a $91,000 price tag to make the repair, so this is the appropriation of that amount. Is there further discussion? If not, can I get a motion? So by Commissioner Allen, second by Commissioner Jones. Further discussion now with the motion and second. Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Is there a point of personal privilege or further business? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn? Got a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Schlesinger. Without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your patience tonight.